It's Real Women, Real Talk, and we're joined by regular contributors to the OPT network, Lisa Campo and Lamia Solomon. Ladies, Merry Christmas and good morning.
Merry Christmas, good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Well, as we tear open Christmas Day, Christmas morning, what we're talking about and focusing on are expectations. Are our expectations way too high for one day out of the year? And you say what, Lisa?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if it's childhood baggage. I don't know if it's just wanting to meet my children.
Let's stop there. Childhood baggage. Because doesn't our childhood baggage really linger
forever?
Yeah.
It is a daily work in progress. And I know people say, oh my God, quit talking about it. Get over it. Oh, good. You found the way. Oh, cool. Tell me how you did it. Because every day for me is a work in progress. Every single day for me is a work in progress for all of my topics that hang me up.
And so for Christmas, though, if you didn't have what you hoped or dreamed would be an ideal Christmas as a child, we try to sort of replicate that as adults for our children. And now that we're all sort of kind of emptying the nest, it really puts a damper on that perfection, doesn't it?
Everything's changing. And, you know, I'm going to stop you with the word perfection. It is an oxymoron, the statement. The word perfect is an oxymoron.
I agree.
There is no such thing, because what I may feel is perfect, no one else in the family does, obviously. So it's like, think about that. What I think is perfect, you may not think is perfect.
Right.
And so there's definitely...
And what might have been perfect last year
is not perfect for this year, because everyone's older or wiser or greedier
different,
or whatever the topic is, whatever that action word we're going to use, but or descriptive word. I don't know why we're doing this to ourselves and just not focusing. I'm trying really hard to stay in that zone and focus on, you know, the Advent season when it was Advent, and focus on, you know, the birth of our Savior. And I mean, it is spiritual warfare.
Wow.
It's the most important day of the year, and we have got to just hold on to our strength and just, I know I say it all the time, to rally in that valley and fight that enemy and not let him steal the glory of the birth of the Savior.
And for you, Lamia, looking so festive, so Christmas in your Christmas tree.
Yes, I'm a Christmas
For
tree
you,
today.
have you high expectations? I don't know. For me, with you, Lamia, though, you just seem so down to earth and so
Yeah, I'm not buying all that crap.
steeped in just what's real.
Nope, I'm not going to go out and buy all the stuff and try to make sure Christmas is perfect. I want to sit on my couch. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I want to sit on my couch, relax. I don't want to cook for nobody. I don't want to clean up nothing. I just want to sit on my couch and relax. That is my gift to myself. My daughter was like, Mom, just give me money. Okay, if that's all you want, simple for me. Give you money. Okay. I don't have to go out shopping. I don't have to do anything.
And so we were talking about that. All of our kids just seem to be monetarily driven these days. And that sort of takes away from what we as parents want to continue to see. But once your kids get to be adults, you know, how do you sort of get over yourself and just let them be and you be and, you know, just be?
We're learning how right now. I don't have the answers, but when I find out, I'll tune in soon. Hopefully I'll know, or otherwise, I don't know. I don't know. You know, my daughter made a comment the other day. She's like, I'm so excited. I can't wait for Christmas to get here because I want to watch everybody open their presents. I'm going to feel so good to watch y'all open your presents. And my husband was like, see, that's what your mother wants. She doesn't want to give you a dollar bill.
Right.
She wants to give you and surprise you with something that you took time to think, this is what my mom would love. I'm going to surprise her with it. You want to feel that excitement when you see your mom rejoice and whatever it was. And I mean, we're talking about gifts right now, and I want to just shut up about that, because that's not what Christmas morning is supposed to be about. But is it?
Everybody wants gifts. Everybody likes gifts.
I want to see you happy. I want to know that I played a role in seeing you happy. And that's a gift that God gives us to impact each other's lives. And I hate that it's about a monetary thing. And I hate it. It's become attached to a tangible, materialistic thing. But because that's not what Christmas is supposed to be about. But we get all attached to that in spiritual warfare. What is Christmas about? if my kids showed up today and I said, sit down, we're going to pray, and that is my gift to you, there could be probably people going to jail. They could possibly call child abuse, and in this crazy country, they might get away with it.
Isn't that the truth? You know, we had a lady on that was talking about the glitter box and sort of a tradition that she and her family started, and then she wrote a book about it, and it's traveling across the country where everybody would, despite all of the gifts that they would get, they would have a glitter box, and in that box would be a gift to humanity, a gift to charity. You know, what will you do for someone else? And they sort of created that tradition. But until our family had gotten, you know, 2 little children, babies, literally, in our family, I had sort of, in a way, foregone the ritual of Christmas, of gifts and a Christmas tree. And yeah, she looked at me like, yeah, I really, really had, because I feel like every day is Christmas. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you want to get yourself a gift, if you want to get yourself something and you want to consider it a gift, or you want to treat yourself, or whatever you say to yourself about that thing that you've been wanting, what do?
I go get it.
You go get it.
And you know, and I know I'm finna throw you out for a ringer. So I was watching a show the other day, and I can't, you know, I'm not gonna put the name of the show out there, but I was watching a show and they were doing the history of Christmas and how it was developed. And at first it wasn't about the birth of Christ. Did y'all know that? Mm-hmm. I mean, and it was actually basically where they were doing parties and different things like that. And then it got turned over to, say, up in England or London or whatever, because all these different parties were happening. They needed something to make it better, because it was a lot of killing and different things going on during that time. So in order to basically make it more religion purpose, it kind of converted over to say, oh, Christmas is about Christ and the birth of, but really that is not the basis of it. That is not, it has never been confirmed that is the reason for that particular. Now I'll pull it up during the break.
I don't know what show that is.
Yeah, but and I was just like, really? And then when it came as far as St. Nicholas, he was actually providing gifts to these women and little girls because they were homeless, and they were, he was trying to show them that they didn't have to sell their bodies.
Wow.
It's deep.
Only you would.
I have to research everything. So, you know, I got to come with something.
Yes,
I have to come with it.
Okay, we are going to take a break on that, but we all know that Jesus is the season for the
reason for the season. Don't listen to Lamia.
We're going to take a quick break, everybody, but we'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. It's Real Women, Real Talk, and we're joined by our regular contributors to the OPT Network, Lisa Campo and Lamia Solomon, on this very, very Merry Christmas Day. Yes. Looking so festive. And boy, we're trying to figure out all of the things that keeping it real means when it comes to Lamia Solomon, because she just gonna keep it real.
Well, and that's why I was saying, like, I can't sit here and say that, you know what, it's not about the birth of Christ.
Right.
Because that is what we have been raised to believe. And so I don't have any definitive information to say it wasn't. I'm just saying what I saw on the particular show.
There you go.
So, and I mean, I'm putting it out there because I thought, oh, that kind of makes sense.
Really?
What happened, but not taking it away from Christ. But I'm saying I can understand where Saint Nick came from. But then if you look at Christmas, what do? We convince our children that there's Santa Claus coming down the chimney, but that's a lie. That's a lie.
Lisa's eyes.
I'm ruining Christmas. I'm sorry, but I got to tell the truth. That's keeping it real.
I'm concerned if we have children sitting in the room listening to our show.
But it's a real show.
Okay.
So we keeping it real. So
let's move past Santa Claus.
Okay. But I was saying, okay, so what ends up happening is if it is about Christ, then we shouldn't
Why are
be
you looking at
lying.
me like that?
We shouldn't be lying to our children in regards to that. That's all I'm saying.
I guess it's sort of a personal preference.
It's
Right.
like I said, the word perfect. What is
I
perfect
get
to
it.
me is not perfect to somebody else.
Right.
And what I believe is not someone else's
Right.
belief. And that is what's amazing about our forum, is that we are such polar opposites, but we have the ability to come together and have
Absolutely.
conversations
Exactly.
that inspire and uplift people, and
And ruin
Hopefully
Christmas.
we-
hopefully not ruin Christmas, Lamia.
Sorry.
So moving forward just a little bit, when we
Right.
first came together this morning, everybody was harried and hurried. And one of the things that you said, Lisa, was that you're just feeling sort of antsy about ending the year, about moving into a new season. Why?
2018 has been the year of distraction for me. A lot of growth, a lot of change, a lot of traditions that I'd grown comfortable and complacent with. Or like I said before we started filming, I think, I just feel like the Lord took my bucket and he shook me, all my parts and pieces out on the floor, and he said, we're going to reorganize. And so everything's just different now. You know, Craig and I are empty nesters, and we're embracing this new change, and challenges come with that, growing pains, and old traditions go away, new traditions begin, and it's just we're
And
just
let's face
finding
it,
ourselves.
We don't always like newness, do we?
No, we don't, because, you know, even if something's not really that great, I at least knew how the outcome, and I'm bad about that. You know,
It has to be a certain way.
I think my soul just feels comfort in having the knowledge of how it's going to play out. None of us really have the knowledge of how anything's going to play
And
out.
that's really
but
called control, isn't
it's control. It really is. And I just, you know, I'm a people pleaser, and I want to make other people happy. And I feel like if I am organizing and managing and structuring and planning, then I've gone to the greatest extent to make sure that everybody should pretty much end up happy.
Wow. That's interesting.
And you know, and that is interesting.
I wish I
and the
could
thing
be
is,
that sort of. I
but
wish
the
I
thing-
could be that planner, organizer, you
Right.
know, for outcomes.
It brings me joy. It helps me feel
needed.
satisfied. Like, you know, when we were talking about organizing and getting things together for you, I mean, if I had like an extra day that I could say, this is your day, we're going to go and do this. There is something about organizing and planning and preparing that does bring me satisfaction. And then for everyone to come in and be like, oh, this is good. I'm like, oh, yeah, then that makes me feel really good.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, it's got to be an illness. I'm sure they'll put a label on it. It's going to be ADD, OCD, you know,
PTSD.
PTSD.
And we were talking about your PTSD.
Right.
Where does that come from, Lamia? Does it come from military service, you think?
Well, and you know, it's so funny because when people say PTSD,
Not
they
always
automatically,
military.
right, they
Yeah,
automatically
you don't
say
know.
military. And I have some from military service and also some from childhood.
And we've said this.
And
word
we've
again.
said, yes, childhood.
childhood.
So there's all different aspects of PTSD, and a lot of
would agree
people
with that.
don't even realize that they have it. And that's what's so funny. They think that, okay, you know what, this happened to me, but I don't know why I feel anxiety
Right.
every time something else comes up. Well, guess what? That's PTSD.
Absolutely.
Because if you're feeling anxiety because, you know what, when you were little, you would always get hit with a basketball, and then every time you see people playing basketball, your heart start beating a little faster. That's PTSD.
And
That's
doesn't
because of
this-
what you went through.
And
as an
doesn't this
example.
time of the year bring that out? Like
It does.
Like every year, families do pretty much the same thing.
Right.
And if you're not careful, you will get in the same arguments that
Every
you
year.
got in every year previous because of maybe that PTSD, because you feel some sort of way
No
that's
healing.
never resolved.
Never resolved, no healing. I think
like
we
Groundhog
talked
Day.
about that. It's like, and then when
Groundhog Day? The
family,
movie.
yeah,
The
the movie.
Groundhog Day. It just keeps going over and over and over again. And
Right.
a lot of us spend our Christmases that way, where we're going through the motions. And it's whether the older family members are not willing to relinquish and move into new tradition, or whether the younger family members are lazy and don't want to deal with it, whatever. It's, you know, I'm thinking of what I heard a priest say one day or once. You've got to be willing to live in the way of Christ, because Christ is forever changing and your life is ever evolving with Christ. And so I was raised, and I would hear my parents say, oh, I don't like change. Well, if you don't like change, you can't hold like a lot of Christ, because life changes.
Right.
And it changes with Christ. And he is moving us.
Now, he doesn't change.
No.
We change.
We are
As we
evolving.
grow.
We're
Right.
either growing closer to him or
farther
farther away
away
from
from
him.
it.
There's
Absolutely.
no black and white. It is definitely one way or the other that is happening. And so
Do you find that, Lamia, you sort of shy away sometimes from those family gatherings because you know?
Oh, I definitely do. I don't care. I don't want to go. I do not want to go to certain family gatherings because you always got that crazy uncle that's finna act the fool. You got somebody that's going to argue about something. It's going to be something. So to me, nope, I will pick another path and I will go visit somebody else's family if that's the case. So just so you can have peace. A lot of people don't realize that, you know, in a lot of households, just because they say we go all sit down as a family and have dinner, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a great dinner.
Wow.
That just means that it's going to be some auntie that don't like the way you make bread pudding, or it may be something else, you know, for
Or
you.
it could be that thing that caused
That
PTSD.
That's right. And you bring it up. It's the perfect time to bring
Yep,
it up.
perfect time. Everybody's there.
Everybody's there.
Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it. Round
And
table
you
discussion.
never get resolved in that discussion.
You never. You fight, and then guess what? You're not
Everybody's
coming to the
mad.
next
Yep.
function.
For the next years, you've sworn off. I'm not coming back. So we're hoping that this year that
Not.
there will be a resolve. And how can you get past that to have just
Peace.
a normal, peaceful day with family and loved ones? Stay on point, everybody. It's Real Women, Real Talk. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Merry Christmas to all. It's Real Women, Real Talk right here on the OPT Network, and we're joined by Lisa Campo and Lamia Solomon. And if we don't do anything else when we come together in just being real about life, about our lives, and about what we're going through. And we always find some sort of healing or some sort of moment where we say it's a revelatory moment. And before we went to break, we were just talking about people coming together. And maybe there are people that are watching this morning that are hesitant about going to a family gathering because every year you say it'll be different, but every year it's just the same. And Lamia, you said something important. You said some of your family gatherings, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, you just don't do anymore.
Yes, and you know, I had to realize, and I went to counseling to realize this, that you are actually in control of your own happiness and peace. You're in control of it, but we choose not to make the decisions because of the fact we're trying to satisfy other people and looking for other people's satisfactory in us. You know, we want to please them, and we're unhappy because we're pleasing them. So to me, and if I go to these family gatherings, I'm choosing to put myself in a situation where I know it's going to be drama and I might not like it. So I choose not to do it. I am going to choose to be happy.
When did you decide?
Oh, remember I was having all these revelations and got to praying and realizing, I said, okay, counseling, prayer. Oh yeah, I'm going to be happy. So I choose not to go, take control over my own happiness. And like I said, I'm going to sit on my couch for Christmas.
But does that mean, though, that doesn't mean that you don't love your family?
Right. I love my family. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. I just don't like the drama that comes with some of my family members. So if they choose, because you can't be in control of what someone else does.
Absolutely
You can
not.
only be in control of what you do and what makes you happy. And what makes me happy is not to be a part of that drama.
And so, Lisa, you said your family, as it is evolving and changing, the traditions that you and your family have put in place for so long are also changing this year. And you were having some angst about that.
I am. You know, family members get older, and so transitions happen. Children get older. You know, the grandparents get older, and so different people start taking over different roles and responsibility in the family to generate or produce the family Christmas. And then I have those family members that, you know, I don't talk to maybe but twice a year. And they're like, well, baby, you coming for, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're not coming.
I'm not coming. I went off and made a life for myself. I've got life going on over here. I remember I got married and I had 2 kids and this is what we're doing. And so, I think everybody tries to find a happy medium. Look, I'm not mad. It's water under the bridge. I've resolved and we're fine. We're talking right now. But no, baby, I'm not coming.
It sounds like.
I mean, you can't expect to call somebody that you only see maybe twice a year and expect them to come, drop your life, your family, your friends, and come and be with someone that's basically a complete stranger at this point, not only to me, but to my children.
Wow. So tell me about that fried cabbage that you were talking about. I've lived in Louisiana literally all my whole life. And had you ever heard of fried cabbage?
I've never heard of fried cabbage. Come on, give it up.
My grandmother, Bonfiglio, she used to fry cabbage. And you parboil the cabbage, take it, wash it, cut it like in fours, and you parboil it, and you get
What does parboil
like
mean?
you boil it just very quickly.
Okay.
And flash boil it, and you get it out, and you run it under cold water and get it cooled off, because something like that will continue to cook, and cabbage can become very tender when dealing with it. It'll start falling apart. So you want it to be a little firm, and the bigger pieces you cut in fourths. The further to the cabbage you go, you leave it. It's small already. So we just dip it in some egg and milk. Dip it in flour, throw it in the grease and fry it up, salt and pepper it, and we wait for it all year long. That is like our treat, our bad fried treat that we wait to have all year long.
So you do it only at Christmas?
No, New Year's. It's New Year's Day. Christmas Day, we do my husband's family's dressing, which is a French dressing that we do. We make homemade breadcrumbs and...
So that's what you're doing today.
That's what we're having today.
So what, do you guys have a family tradition?
Girl, I don't deal with my family. What?
So wait, what do you?
So
do you go to the grocery store?
What is your?
Because
What has
everything's
become your?
closed.
So
You can't go get food.
Girl, I am an empty nester. My child just came home from college. I am in that transition phase that I am loving so much. So there is not a
So it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Okay, so all the fast food restaurants are closed. So do you pre-plan what you're going to eat today?
No, I
You're
didn't
just going to go
pre-plan.
from. But here's the thing.
You're just going to go with like the peanut butter and jelly in the
We're just like chilling. Me and my daughter are relaxing. My son is in Oakdale with his family. We are just relaxing.
So y'all are not
today.
going to go like from house to house and just sort of like eat
No.
at friends' houses?
No, I'm not. She may, she may drive out, but
I made
today
some
is
Italian
the day.
cookies. You want some Italian cookies?
You're gonna deliver
Tell me
them
about
to
the
my
Italian
couch.
cookies.
No. It is.
Are those the ones with figs in them?
No, that's not that. That's an Italian cookie too, but
Okay.
I don't put figs in mine. It's just a cookie with white icing and sprinkles on it, and it's just an Italian Christmas cookie. And I make the Italian wedding cookie too, because we like both of them. And again, this is that cheat season, and so I will have both Italian wedding cookies and Italian Christmas cookies. So.
Well, I might have to come to your house.
I don't know now. You stay up on your sofa.
I need that fried
I
cabbage
just
in my
asked
life.
you what you
New
plan.
Year's, yeah.
You got to see me.
You
What
have to
is
have
your
a plan.
plan? You have to have a plan, because there's nowhere open. You're going to get hungry at some point. So you either went to the grocery store before Christmas Day.
Don't I have your number?
No. Block. Mamia's calling. Block
So
the phone.
does that plan, that having to have that plan, does that like get to the point where if it doesn't go just as planned, then you're disappointed?
Okay, so like last Wednesday, I got up, or I made my little notes in my phone, and then I got up about 2 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep anymore.
2 o'clock in the morning.
And I went ahead and I got full dressed.
Okay.
Hair, makeup, everything.
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
I usually go to yoga at 5, my Christian yoga, and that got canceled. So I was dressed like, and I knew that we had other things going on that day. So I was like, well, I'm going to go on to the grocery store. I could not sleep knowing all the stuff I had to get done on that list. Christmas gifts bought, groceries bought, wrapped, cleaned, decorated. All these things have to get done. The cookies baked, all
You're
these
such
things
a good mother.
to get done.
Anyway,
so I did. I hit Walmart on Jackson Street
Were you the
before
only
6
person in
a.m.
there?
and it was fabulous. The shelves were full. The few employees that were there were so friendly, and they're like, hey. And look, I didn't have to hear a screaming baby. I didn't have to see some kid getting beat. I just strolled through and got everything I needed. I didn't have to wait in line to check out. It was so nice. It's quiet. I could hear the Christmas music playing.
Really?
Yes. And it was nice. I got home probably about 7:15, walked through the back door with $300 worth of groceries, and Craig's like, what are you doing and where have you been this early? And I'm like, Christmas grocery shopping.
Wow.
Wow.
All about the plan.
It's It's all about the plan.
And so after you plan all, of this elaborateness, and so after Christmas Day is over, is it a letdown or is it another
I feel like
box
it's an
checked?
accomplishment.
An accomplishment?
It feels like an accomplishment. Yeah, I think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. And, it's just what we do. It's what different people do.
Right.
We're going to free spirit. We're going to take a quick break here.
I'm not a free spirit.
But when we come back, we're going to talk more about Christmas, the day, the reason, and what's next. Stay on point. We're back right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. It is a very Merry Christmas. We hope that you and your family are enjoying. Right here this morning, we have Real Women, Real Talk on the OPT Network. Lisa Campo and Lamia Solomon. We come together and just find ways to keep it real. And Lamia was saying that the planning that Lisa does is so stressful. And it's stressful to me too. And you said that our lack of planning would give you hives.
I think I would be unconscious. I think that I would suffocate myself come Christmas morning by the time the sun came up if I did not have this in place and have this plan. I really think I would self-combust. I do.
Oh my God.
I do.
But when everything doesn't go as you plan.
No, my kids would laugh and say, "Are you kidding?" No, I think I've gotten better about that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I've learned to go with the flow and know. At the end of the day, God's got a great sense of humor.
When you heard that one of your traditions would quite possibly have been canceled. I mean, you almost cut me with your eyes.
Did you see her put her hand?
Well, I mean, do we get too caught up
when I say something doesn't turn out right? Okay, well, the cookies got burned. Okay, well, just throw that batch away. There's gonna be plenty of food. You know what? The dressing's too salty. Oh well, next year you get to cook it. I mean, there are some things that I'm like, I'm okay with. Now, if a Christmas present that I've ordered 6 weeks ago is still lost in the mail, I could have chest pains over that.
Really?
Yeah. Really? I guess it just depends on what it is. And I have to remind myself that God's sense of humor, everything and every day is a test to our testimony to Him. Mm-hmm. And I swear I try. I try really hard to focus on that, the reason for the season. I don't care what you say. I focus on that and try to keep Christ in Christmas.
Absolutely. And as our kids get older, things are changing. And you were talking about the new normal. And we're all sort of really experiencing a new normal.
Right.
And so how are you on the journey to the new normal, especially like this is...
There's nothing normal about my life right now.
But you're an empty nester. So since that transition, to me, I think that you are finding Lisa. Like finding Nemo.
You might find her before I do. When you find her, grab her.
Let me know.
What
makes Lisa happy. Because, we do wear those multiple hats.
But you said that. And you said, when Lisa was saying that, God has shaken out everything and God and your husband and then your kids and then all the rest of the stuff. And you said something powerful. You said, where are you at?
Where are you? Where are you in that whole list? You said God first, then your husband, then your kids. And then you was like, and everything else falls behind.
Right.
But
you're in that behind.
You're in that behind.
But
how far behind?
Though, I think
I will say that what the things that I do love making a home. And so I think what's making this such a hard transition is as we're waiting to sell our home and move into our next chapter, things that a lot of my stuff is boxed up already. Mm-hmm. And wrapped and boxed and wrapped and stacked. And so little
neatly,
things. Neatly, of course. I went out there the other day and I see my boxes of china and I'm like, oh, they're caving in because somebody set a box of lava rocks on top of the china. And the box clearly says China. Those things, that's what drives me crazy. Because Big Sharpie says China. Breakable. Oh, let's set lava rocks on top of the china. And I'm like, who does that? But that's the kind of stuff that makes me crazy. Life happens, but what were you thinking when you set lava rocks on top of China is just all I'm asking. So They didn't care.
Right.
But they're not paying attention.
Right.
A lot of my things in trying to declutter and depersonalize the house are boxed up. Oh. And so we debated whether, I like my little things. Mm-hmm. And we debated about whether or not to decorate the house. And Craig was like, we're going to have to decorate this house. You just might lose your mind if we don't. And he's right, because as much as I like it, he does like to sit and bask in the glow of the tree in front of the fire. We love that. It's one of the reasons, and I didn't do it this year. I usually put up a tree at Halloween, and it doesn't come down until after Easter. And I do Halloween, Christmas, Mardi Gras, and Easter.
Wow.
And I love it.
You keep the tree up for that long? Like the Christmas tree?
It ain't real.
Yeah, but and at each
season, I enjoy that. Whether my kids are there or not, that is something about me. I do love to decorate and I like that. I love to sit on the sofa in a clean house it's decorated, it's clean, it smells clean. I like that. That makes me happy. And in the new house, I have actually, in helping design this, there is a tree. There's a closet that the Christmas tree on wheels will roll into. So I will no longer have to fight her out of a box and up into a stand.
Do you know how organized that is, though? Like, you're building your house with a Christmas tree room.
Christmas tree room.
Yeah, I didn't say room.
Closet.
I said a closet. Why not?
That's okay.
You make a closet for the toilet. You make a closet for the coat. You make a closet for all the electrical wiring. Why not have a door that opens? It's tall enough. Put that girl on wheels and roll her in
designing.
That's the beauty of designing the next house.
And a lot of people would like that closet.
And that's
so let me ask you guys
blessing.
this. As you were moving into the new year, the new season, how do you get past the fear of everything that's to come? Everything that happened in 18, how do you get past all of that? A lot of good things happened. A lot of people experienced a lot of painful things. But with all of those good, bad, and indifferent things, how do you get past all of the fear to move fresh into 19?
I don't know about that. Like, there were so many learning things that I learned from 2018. Some things I might try again. Some things I probably would never try. I learned my lesson about it. So moving forward.
Did you deal with fear, though?
I deal with fear every day. There's always something to be afraid of, in which we shouldn't allow it to control you.
And let me just say, let me change that.
Okay.
Let me change that narrative. Not fear, but concern. Because we know God is not the author of fear.
Right.
Those concerns that if we're not careful, they will keep us from throwing our heart over the bar and moving successfully and motioning into 19.
You know, I put this on, I have the craziest relationships. So that would be one of my concerns, is because when I say relationships, I'm saying relationships with different people, and relationships as far as the person that I'm in a relationship with. So my concerns always is that I self-sabotage.
That's lack of planning.
Lack of planning.
Lack of planning and preparing. I'm just saying.
Well, I can't prepare for everything, but
we cannot. You're right.
We cannot. All, to some degree, if we're not careful, we'll sabotage ourselves.
Yeah, and I do that, and not intentionally, but I have a concern about it because it does happen more frequently.
Have you tried to work through that in therapy? Have you talked about that?
Oh yeah, I talk about everything in therapy. Actually, my therapist sometimes be like, "Do you think you tell me too much?" No, not really. But no, we work through it, and that's another thing. Please, people, especially for Black women and men, we act like we do not need therapy.
Okay, that's not a Black thing, because I'm going to tell you right now, I know some white people that
it's
say...
It's majority, though. I'm sorry.
Only people with problems need therapy, quote unquote.
Oh, well.
Okay. I did not to interrupt, but I had to put that out there.
Right. Okay, so yeah, let me
But I know what you're saying.
Not my quote.
Typically in the African American community, sometimes over the years we have moved away from or not really face that head on. And I think in the new year, that's something that all people who face challenges that they can't face on their own, that we need to,
talk about.
Yeah, because depression and all of those things are happening, and they are real. And I don't know how we got here, but it's just about putting our hearts on the table and being real. Thank you guys for spending your Christmas morning with us right here on the OPT Network.
Thank you for having me. I'm going back on my couch.
Indeed, indeed. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back right after this.